Warning, 30 Screams or Less may contain spoilers about movies that have recently been released. If you haven't seen the movie, go watch it, come back, and enjoy the show. Or, if you don't want to waste your time watching the movie and rather have two random horror dudes watch it for you, we got you covered as well. Welcome everyone to 30 Screams or Less, a horror movie podcast where we review horror movies in 30 minutes or less. Today's movie we're going to be reviewing is called The Girl in the Trunk. It's written and directed by Jonas Kvist Jensen. I think that's how you pronounce that middle name. It's Kvist. Kvist.
Sounds good to me.
My list has problems with it. Just wait till we read the plot for this. This is going to be fun. Starring Katharina Sporrer as Manda and Caspar Phillipson as Michael Bellerose. So initially, the plot for this thing that was provided to us was a borderline book. No elevator pitch, nothing. So I just used Chat GPT to friggin' summarize the shit out of this thing. So here's what Chat GPT said. The plot is Amanda, kidnapped in a speeding car's trunk while in her wedding dress, has only her phone as a tool. A failed escape attempt results in an innocent bystander's death. Her kidnapper's affinity for poisonous wildlife adds to the peril. Discovering her kidnapper's identity and escaping her controlling father's plans, Amanda faces heat exhaustion in the Texas desert. With limited family help, she must outwit her psychotic kidnapper in a deadly phone game for a chance at survival. Corey, I did that without butchering that whole thing.
I was just gonna say, I'm proud of you, man. You did all of that without fucking it up.
Hell yeah. I've been trying to get better with my fucking speaking, and I don't even have a voice coach. Nothing like that. So
no, you're just armed with Chat GPT.
Yep, I am Chat GPT. You haven't been talking to Steve for the past few weeks.
Well, that explains it.
Pure AI. But before we get into it, Corey, last night I was looking in the mirror, and you know what? My beard was looking gnarly. And I said to myself, I can't look like this. I got to do something. So I decided to break out Beard Octane's beard wash and conditioner along with their beard oil. And dude, my beard looked amazing. I'm glad you turned me on to Beard Octane.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, I've been using their products for years and I can vouch for them. And whether you're pounding IPAs or chopping wood, you got to look your best. Visit beardoctane.com and use the code 30screams10 at checkout for a 10% discount. It helps us. And like I said, the products are absolutely incredible. They're local too. They're based out of Connecticut. So help them out and support small businesses. We're not just slinging beard grooming supplies. We've been using them for a while.
Yeah, we have. With that said, 30 Screams or Less starts now. Corey, what did you think of The Girl in the Trunk?
Steve, I was really excited to watch this movie when they asked us if we wanted an early copy of it.
Yeah,
because they sent us a trailer of it, and I was like, this looks like it's going to be great. I set my expectations way too high. It wasn't bad by any means. It just seemed to drag, and honestly, not a whole lot happened.
You got a good point. I mean, how much can really happen inside a friggin' box, basically? You know what I mean? She was in this trunk the whole entire time. The only time that we saw her out of it was at the beginning and then at the end. So,
and even in the beginning, you don't really see her. You just see, like, her feet, and she's getting into a car.
Yeah. So, I mean, I liked it. I thought it was good. I see what you mean, though, by it dragging on, because there were definitely points where, like, I wasn't necessarily looking at the time or anything like that, but it was starting to feel like it was going on for a while.
I started looking at the time. I'm not gonna lie.
No, that's a bad sign.
Yeah, I was kind of fed up with this movie, and probably in the middle of it.
Oh, wow. Okay. I thought this movie had some really cool aspects to it. I especially like some of the camera work, you know, with the holes and her having to see out. For instance, the guy that was getting backed up into, like the guy that was trying to be nice and help the car that was on the side of the road, he gets backed up into, and you can see it through the hole in the trunk. So I thought that was really cool, that kind of stuff. Also, the camera work pointing down a pipe, actually seeing the killer's face. I thought that was cool too. So I thought there was some pretty cool camera work there.
Yeah, I'll give it that. I mean, the camera work was cool. Like you said, the pipe that he used to fish the scorpion into the car was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the tire stuff was really cool too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there were some things about this movie for sure that I was like, okay. Like the CGI. I mean, the CGI for the Scorpion, not bad. I mean, like the budget probably on this is probably not all that much, you know. You can do a lot of this shit just stationary. It's not like they were driving around with her in the trunk. They probably had a car and the thing was wide open and they just filmed it in a small space. Right. So they probably did that. The CGI, though, could have used a little work, especially with the helicopter. Oh, my God. I thought that was that was something straight out of sci-fi.
Also,
movie.
that was fucking... This man just flies a helicopter down and lands behind a car. Like,
Yeah.
Where were they?
Apparently, he figured out where he was the whole time. Somehow tracked it. No clue.
The voice acting in those scenes, like the stuff with her dad over the phone, awful.
Yeah, I could see that. That was another gripe of mine, too, is that the voice acting. I bet if this movie was starring William Dafoe as the kidnapper, it would have been infinitely better.
Dead serious, I thought it was Willem Dafoe until we saw the person. I shit you not. I heard it. He had a voice very much the same as Willem Dafoe.
He was trying a bit hard, I think, to be that William Dafoe voice type. He had yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Manda.
very, smoke a carton of cigarettes a day kind of thing.
Yeah, but like almost Joker-like, smoking a pack of cigarettes and trying to sound like Joker. Yes, Manda. So good to speak with you.
Yeah.
Let's
you sound like
tell
Jigsaw
a story.
Now.
What?
You sound like Jigsaw.
I'd like to play a game.
All right, I take it back.
So it was a lot of that in this movie. I felt the voices didn't really match the bodies. Did you feel that way?
Oh, no, yeah. It was like watching a Godzilla movie.
Like Gojira. Like that type
yeah.
deal.
Like the words don't match up with the subtitles kind of thing. It was so weird.
Yeah, they overdub and everything. The innocent bystander, the guy that was helping them on the side of the road. This is like this big burly looking Texan, right? He looks like this guy who's been in the woods hunting. You think you talk like that. But he's like, oh, I can help you. Like, so, oh, hey, huh? Oh, no, what's happening here? Like that type deal. I'm like, guy, put a little oomph into that, like, that voice of yours. What's going on here?
So what I was a little bit confused about is in the beginning of the movie, he only duct tapes her feet and he duct tapes her hands together, but her hands are duct taped in front of her body.
Right.
So she literally just reaches up to her mouth and pulls the duct tape off of her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if he's doing this to like torture her, because he also leaves a cell phone. And this doesn't make sense to me because she clearly dials 911 and the call goes directly to the kidnapper.
Yeah, and I didn't see any electronics in that car that could indicate a routing to him. I mean, he wasn't even using like a Bluetooth headset. At least I didn't see a Bluetooth headset. So,
No, he was talking into the air.
Yep. And you would think her on the phone, she would hear him in the front seat.
Right. Yeah, because she plays along for a while and she never realizes that it's this Michael. Is it Michael?
Yeah, Michael is his name.
Yeah, she never realizes that she's talking to the driver.
Right. And you would think, like, I would hear like an echo almost. Like, you hear an echo because there's a delay in real time versus what's on the phone. It's not exact. So I would be like, why is this sounding weird? And then I would have been like, oh, I'm talking to the asshole in the front seat.
So I had a feeling that this Amanda character, like, I thought
correction, Manda. No,
Miss Manda.
Miss Manda.
So she kept correcting this guy because they kept calling her Mrs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's in a wedding dress. She got stood up at her own wedding, didn't she?
See, that's what I thought at first, too. I thought, like, either she got stood up or she ran from the altar, but go ahead.
Well, you were right. That's what happened. We find out that she was the one that ran from the altar.
Right. Here's the thing, though. None of this makes any sense because they went through the vows and everything and the cake cutting. She's married. She's got the fucking certificate at this point, right? That's how marriages work. Weddings are just glorified parties. To say like, oh yeah, we already got the certificate for fucking being married, so now we just have a party that everyone kind of comes to.
Yeah, it didn't make much sense.
Yeah.
And then she becomes like, she calls her like the guy she left at the altar later on in the movie, John.
Yeah.
Like nothing happened.
Yeah, no big deal. He seemed like a nice enough guy. But
for a guy that just got stood up at the altar, like in front of family and friends, he was way too nice to this girl.
He didn't even get stood up at the altar. They went through it. She left her in the cake cutting ceremony. That's what I'm saying.
The cake must have sucked.
Bullshit cake.
You know it's bad when the fucking cake makes you leave.
Yeah, I know. That must have been a shitty cake. Her dad probably got in. It was probably fucking, I don't know, carrot cake or something.
Because it's got to be $1 million cake because her dad's loaded, apparently.
Apparently. Yeah, that's the whole idea, is that her father is loaded, and he immediately thought that this guy was after his money, like it's all about him. Who, by the way, that dude is a dick. Her dad is a douche, yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, my God. I would have just been like, you know what, just fucking leave me in the trunk, which she did say, because fuck it. Why deal with him? What's the point? Like, I'm just going to hang out here. Fuck you. I'll get bit by snakes.
It kind of made me wonder, like, if her dad was somehow connected to the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe the guy that kidnapped her was a friend of the father, or I don't know, something.
I was still trying to figure out what was going on with this kidnapper, because it didn't feel like there was really any end game with him. Like, he didn't really seem like he was going to kill her. He didn't seem like he was asking for money. It's like he just did it for funsies.
He did ask for money.
Yeah, well, he asked for what her father thinks she's worth.
Right. Which ended up being, he said $100,000.
Well, she said $100,000. Just
yeah.
Just put a friggin' price on it. I mean, could have been a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Think about that. That would have been way cheaper than fucking any money.
He could have been just like, you know what, take her.
Yep.
Fine.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, yeah, you know what? She ran away from the wedding, embarrassed me, blah, 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 and, get her out of here.
I'm surprised he didn't do something like that, honestly.
Wouldn't surprise me at all, but I don't know. I mean, deep down inside, obviously, he loves his daughter, but he's a fucking asshole about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely a dick. So, like, that kind of was confusing me a little bit. Like, I was honestly thinking that he had something to do with it. Maybe like a tax write-off of sorts, right? Like, my daughter got kidnapped and, like, X amount of money goes missing. Well, not a tax write-off. A way to steal money for himself, right? Like
pyramid scheme?
Yeah, a little pyramid scheme type deal. It's just like
little Wesley Snipes type stuff.
Yeah, exactly. A little tax evasion. So let's say she gets kidnapped, ransoms $1 million. He has to pony up $1 million that he'll grab from the bank. The insurance will be like, it's fine, blah, 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 you write it off type deal. And he walks away with $1 million. I've just seen it in movies. I haven't done that. I assure you I am not a psychopath.
I believe you, Steve.
Of course you believe me.
I've known you long enough. I know you're not a psychopath.
I'm not. My brain just works this way. You know what? If it ever happened to me, if I ever got kidnapped and, for some reason it was $1 million, we already know what's going to happen. The cops going to be like, nah, I listen to your podcast. I know what's up.
You know what?
It's like, fuck, the one listener.
So, Steve, I want to know, did you think the trunk seemed a little odd? There was so much space in this trunk. I've never seen a car trunk with that much fucking space ever.
Dude, I have a pretty big trunk for a Honda Civic, let me tell you. But whatever that was ginormous. It looked like she had a shit ton of space. Like, she was borderline full laying down in it with her knees not even, like, bent.
Didn't she fully sit up at one point, too?
Maybe? I know she had plenty of room in there just to maneuver, but I would think if you're trapped in a trunk, you're just like all bunched up. I know I'd be fucking freaking out a little bit because if I can't move, then I'm like, fuck, I'm trapped. I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's all over.
Yeah, it's all over. Either she's tiny as anything, which she didn't look like she was. She looked like she was a little bit taller, or that trunk was definitely not designed to be like realistic. I mean, at least with Buried, with Ryan Reynolds, that felt like it was an actual size casket.
Well, even so, like, we'll talk about Beatrice Kiddo again. Like, even that was a real casket. She was tiny. She barely had any room in there.
Exactly. So that was like realistic. I feel like if you're going to put these actors in something like that, maybe make it a little more realistic in size. So I see your point there that it probably was a little too big.
Movie magic.
Movie magic. Gotta love movie magic. So, like, we didn't even really go into the whole spiel here. We're just spitting off, like, some of the things we liked and disliked, which is great. I'm fine with that. So we're all sorts of out of order at the moment. But fuck it. We'll just, whatever. So, like, the whole time this girl is in the fucking trunk and, like, developing this, like, pseudo relationship with this kidnapper, whatever. It's weird. We're listening to a fake William Dafoe type deal, and he gives her 10 questions that she can ask, and she's trying to finagle to not ask questions. Like, she's trying to form it as like a statement, shit like that. But he actually starts giving up all this information, like what the fuck, like where he
we find
works
out
and things
where
like
he
that.
worked. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think he give up his name too at this point.
No, they found out his name because he said he worked there and that he worked a specific type of position at the company. So it's easy to like narrow down based on those factors, and that he had an account at the bank. So,
Oh, right, because her dad was able to get all the information.
yeah, exactly. But it doesn't tell where he's located on the friggin' highway. Maybe he just guessed and he's like, oh, I think that's the car. So it's like, okay. I mean, did he even know what the car looked like? Oh, wait. Like, she asked him what kind of car and the color. Like,
Yeah,
those...
he said it at one point.
Yeah, so if the father was smart enough to know, like, okay, they would travel this highway in order to get to this place, then he probably could just take his helicopter, drive the highway, or, you know, fly the highway, and then see him. Which, okay, cool. But yeah, this whole helicopter deal I thought was ridiculous because, sure, I mean, he found the car, he stopped in front of him. Immediately, I'm thinking it's the police, by the way, which we didn't even talk about the whole police situation. And it's important to talk about it because it's how she got her weapon to fucking flip the car.
Yeah, and this part was hilarious.
Yeah. All right, go ahead. Tell me why it's hilarious.
Well, basically, there was this like scuffle between the kidnapper and a cop. Mm-hmm. And the kidnapper, this part makes no sense to me. He clearly shot her in the back, right?
No, he shot her in the front?
No,
Yeah,
she was facing the car and he was behind her.
Oh, really? Oh, jeez. Okay.
So he shoots her in the back, right?
Yeah.
And Amanda ends up getting the police officer's baton.
Mm-hmm.
And she later on finds a hole in the side of the trunk on the inside of the car, and she puts the baton through this. And
Yeah.
this would never fucking happen. But she
No.
puts it through the hole and through the spokes of the tires on the car and flips the whole fucking car.
No, because that friggin' baton would have to be really long.
Well, not only that, but like, is there such thing as a hole like that in the side of a car that leads directly to a tire?
Fuck if I know, man. I've never really been just laying down the trunk and inspecting.
Well, okay.
I guess I gotta fucking lay down in the trunk and lock myself in and figure it out.
You have homework tomorrow.
Commit to the bit.
Yeah, we need a full report next week.
Full report. Yeah, and you do the whole podcast. It's like, Steve's dead. It's getting warm out, and he died in there.
He actually decided to, like you said, commit to the bit, and he passed away. He's gone.
Yep.
He's dead in his trunk, in his
in
Focus,
peace.
or whatever you have.
Yep.
Civic.
Yep. So fucking dead in the trunk from in the
DED.
Civic. DED. Uppercase DED. And
we
then
really
you have to
gotta-
take over the podcast and figure it out.
We really got to do merch with that on it.
We should. I got to see if there's any sort of copyright deal on it. I saw something at PAX East. I think I sent it to you. Yeah, I sent you a shirt. It said DED on it. And I'm like, oh, fucking A. We'll make something that says DED. And then in like fucking all types of dead on the back.
I like it.
All right, cool.
Yeah, we'll do that. That'll
I'll
be
make
a
it
good,
later.
Good new piece of merch.
Easy fix. Easy thing to do. Speaking of merch, everyone visit 30screamsofless.com. Visit that shop link at the top. Buy some merch. I haven't done a merch plug in the fucking middle in quite some time.
No, it's always at the end.
Yeah, it's always at the end. And, you know, people got to know sooner because they're like, oh, shit, they got merch. Fuck. Speaking of merch, yeah, she's wearing a fucking wedding dress the whole time. And I don't know where I was going with the fucking segue for that.
I don't either, because you said speaking of merch.
I
And you
tried.
started talking about a wedding dress.
Because, you know, merch, you wear shit. I don't know. I was trying.
All right.
So,
it's been a long day.
It has been a long day. We'll go back into the part where this fucking father takes his helicopter and he's flying this thing behind him. You think it's cops. He drops down in front and he's like, I've got your money in the black bag, all that stuff. And he pulls out a gun where this could have been probably a simple exchange for money for a girl done. But no, the father didn't want to give up $100,000. So he decides he's going to hold the gun to the kidnapper, who he then shoots him in the face. Would almost look like accidentally. Like he wasn't prepared for it. It just fucking happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blew
and
the
then-
side of his the side of his face right off, and he survived because he
Yeah.
comes back later.
Of course, like any good villain in a movie, they're never dead the first shot. They always come back. Always. I mean, you think Scream, Skeet Ulrich, or Billy, you thought he was dead, and then he came back, got shot in the head.
That's what he gets.
That's what he gets. Also, this guy, he almost didn't feel like a kidnapper to me. Like, when you saw him, did you think he seemed like the type that would just kidnap someone?
This is why I agree with you, and this is why I think he was in on it with the father.
Okay.
There was something there that they didn't explain.
You think they'll explain it in the sequel? Girl in the trunk, back in it?
I hope not. I hope it doesn't get a sequel.
Imagine, like, she just climbs back in the trunk okay, so here's the synopsis. So to combat her fear, or to get over her fear of being locked in the trunk, she's at a psychiatrist and she goes, you have to lock yourself in the trunk and get over your fear. She gets locked in the trunk. Someone drives off with the car, takes it, right? And now, girl in the trunk 2. This time, it's serious.
It's personal?
It's personal.
Oh, no, now it's going to happen.
Oh, God. I can't be spitting out
But you
too
like
much.
this, though, so...
I love doing this. I love doing this stupid shit.
No, you like the movie, so, like, you actually probably want a sequel. I couldn't give a shit.
No, I don't think I need a sequel to this. I think you pretty much wrap it up. If a sequel did come out of this, I really don't know. I think it would just kind of be hokey, a little silly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not like it wasn't already.
Yeah, there were some silly parts to it, but overall, I saw a lot of good in it. But to you, I guess you just thought it was, like, ridiculous. And
it was ridiculous, but I mean, I'm not gonna. It did have good qualities, and I'll get to that with the review. I didn't completely hate it, but it wasn't my favorite.
Yeah, we'll get to the reviews in a second. This I thought was hilarious. The father with the helicopter, like, hitting the car with the helicopter.
Straight up Grand Theft Auto stuff.
Exactly. Just fucking like this is Terminator 2. It's fucking, flying under the bridge and just, trying to fucking go after John Connor. That's basically what this scene was, except a little bit more Sharknado-y.
Yeah, I could see that.
It had a little cheese to it with the helicopter and the smoke coming out. Mm-hmm. It looked like a fake helicopter.
Why was it smoking?
Apparently he
was
whacked
smoking
the car
like it
too
got
much.
shot.
He whacked the car too much, I guess, and all of a sudden this like helicopter's like, nope, I fucked up. He can spend $100,000 to get his daughter, but he can't spend fucking money on the maintenance for a helicopter. What's wrong with him?
No, that whole helicopter stuff was so lame.
Yeah, I thought it was a little silly. So yeah, the helicopter stuff, that was ridiculous. You didn't hear it crash. You just kind of went at like probably one of those like, oh fuck, I should touch down.
The next part is when they're in that. We find out that the kidnapper survived the gunshot to the face.
Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah, that was right before this whole helicopter friggin' hitting the car deal. Yeah, he survived the bullet to the face. Half his face is basically just ripped off. So he survives that, starts driving. By the way, what we didn't talk about is the snake that is in the fucking trunk.
Oh, yeah, just a random rattlesnake.
Yeah, so just hanging out, rattlesnake, dropped in, no big deal. He also dropped in a scorpion earlier, which I saw that scorpion. I was like, I drank one of those once.
Yeah, I did it too. I had a lollipop with a scorpion in it.
No shit. That's awesome. We got scorpions
I've done
in
the
our belly.
tequila with it too.
Nice. I took, it was a scorpion shot in Vegas. This place called Nacho Daddy.
All right. Interesting name.
It's good. They have all sorts of nachos, man. They have a fucking surf and turf nacho, which is filet mignon and lobster.
That sounds amazing.
It is pretty good. So it's definitely a place to check out if you're in Vegas. It's on the main strip.
I'll be there at the end of the year.
Go check it out. Have some nachos as like an appetizer and then fucking pass out.
If I can find it, sure.
It's a little bit further down from La Cantina Taco Bell, the fucking one that serves alcohol at it.
Taco Bell
I call
that
it
serves
the
alcohol?
Mecca. I call it the Mecca.
Oh, baby, I'm going there.
Yes, you are. So it's a Taco Bell that serves Baja Blast alcohol. And Corey's silent because he just fucking passed out.
No, I thought you were still talking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got to go see the Mecca.
Okay. I'll put that on the list for sure.
Definitely do that. If you need tips, man, I've been to Vegas 6 times. I love going there. So let me know. Yeah.
That'll be our first time, so.
All right. I got all the fucking lunacy.
Word.
Let me know. So I think we can kind of just get into this, man. Corey.
Wait.
Actually, wait. No. You're right. So we got to finish it up. We got to wrap up the ending.
Yeah, we got to talk about the dumb shit that the reference to the cop getting shot earlier.
Okay, yes. So we got to wrap that up. We got to talk about that dumb shit because I thought this part was weird too. So this is when she takes that baton from the cop and shoves it down that hole and the whole car goes flipping, which okay, the rattlesnake's still alive after all of them just fucking go flying. Also, how did this girl stay in the trunk if that car was flipping and it was being held together by tie wraps?
I have no clue. Movie magic. That's all I can say.
See, I would think the tie wraps would just completely split and she'd just be yeeted all over the fucking cornfield.
No idea. None.
Yeah. Movie magic. So this whole car just fucking does a barrel roll. We don't actually see the car flip. We just see the camera just spinning 360 type deal and fade to black. Next thing you see, she's upside down trying to get out of the car. And this is funny because she gets bit by the rattlesnake. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, this is how she dies, isn't it? She gets bit by the rattlesnake. She stays in the trunk because she has a fucking heart attack from the venom.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what happens. Like after a while, like the venom attacks your heart,
nervous system.
Yeah, your nervous system. Some of them's nervous system. Some of them is something else. What is the rattlesnake? Let's see. Rattlesnake side effects. Is that what I want? That's fine. Horrendous swelling, bruising, bleeding, blistering around the bite, severe pain and tenderness at the bite, nausea, vomiting, or diarrhea. Fucking cool. Labored breathing, and breathing may stop altogether. All right, so it doesn't sound that bad.
All right, I need you to go get bit by a rattlesnake. We need to find out how bad this is.
It looks bad, but it's not like necrotic or anything. It's not like the fucking black mamba. Like the black mamba bites you, you're fucked. You are straight fucked. This thing is like rapid heart rate, weak pulse, low pressure, disturbed vision, metallic, mint, or rubber taste in the mouth. Okay. Muscle twitching, numbness, tingling around the face or limbs. So I guess it could be fatal, but it doesn't seem like the symptoms are fucking horrible. They just suck. They're like bad enough to be like, yeah, I got bit by a rattlesnake and it sucked. So no thanks on that. I don't want to get bit by a rattlesnake.
No, I'm good.
Not it. All set. Don't
I've
want
been bit by fire ants before. That's enough for me.
Oh, awful. Bee sting, maybe worse for me. Yeah, I've never been bitten by like ants. Maybe a spider bite at some point. So yeah, I've never been bitten. I've been stung by bees. That's for sure. Dude, I got stung by a bee once in the most ridiculous fucking way. Like it didn't.
I can't wait to hear this.
Dude, it's on my turf and it fucking bit me.
Did you bite it back?
It's fucking dead. That's for sure. I took care of it. Fucking getting in my shit. Okay, so I'm driving to a show with Sean, and we're in the van, and I'm driving. All of a sudden, ow! What the fuck? Hands on the steering wheel. The thing stung me in the arm for no reason whatsoever. I was like, you fucking son of a bitch. I'm like, I see the fucking stinger, pull it out. He's on the floor fucking convulsing. I'm like, serves you right. We could have been friends. This couldn't have been a problem, but then you had to be a dick. So look at you now.
You want to be friends with a bee? Okay.
Yeah. So, hey, bees are very important to the environment.
You're right. They are.
Yeah. So the bees go, we're in trouble. But this bee was clearly the bully asshole bee that deserves to fucking be convulsing on the floor about to die. It's like, dude, I would have been nice to you. I wouldn't have swatted you. I would have let you do your thing and probably would have let you out the window. But no, you have to fucking sting me. So Sean and I pull over on the side of the road and make makeshift mud to put on the fucking wound. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to rub mud into the fucking, these stings.
All right, Rambo.
Yeah. So that's what we did. We got some water, got some sand, turned it into mud, rubbed it on my arm, and I went to the show and I played.
Word?
Yeah.
You shook it off.
Shook it off. Hey, show must go on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so dumb. It was so dumb. Because I was literally just sitting there. I wasn't even doing anything. I wasn't like waving my arms around, nothing like that. Literally just sitting there, one arm on my lap and like the other hand steering. And the one that was on my lap was the one that got stung. It wasn't even doing anything.
Even the bees don't like you, Steve.
Unprovoked. This fucker decides he's going to sting me. So dumb.
You probably deserved it.
I probably did. Well, it makes for a good story.
Yeah.
I've got plenty of them. So, yeah, she gets bit by the rattlesnake. And the reason why she's getting bit by the rattlesnake, she's trying to reach up. She sees that there's a jack in the trunk. And she has the tire iron, too. So she's thinking, like, probably going to jack up the trunk and fucking get out that way. Fair. So she reaches up for the jack, and the rattlesnake bites her. And bites her again and again. And that's when I'm thinking, like, okay, she's going to be fucking dead because of a heart attack. But turns out rattlesnake bites suck, but might not be deadly. That's what I was reading. So she's probably just feeling like real shitty at the moment with her, the various bites in her hand from the rattlesnake.
Did she get bit multiple times?
Yeah, multiple times. Even though I only saw one bite mark at the end.
That's what I was going to say. I thought I only saw her get bit once, actually.
It only looked like one bite. You would think there'd be definitely a few there on her hand. You could have did that with the makeup, whatever. They didn't. But she manages to get out, and she goes to check. The killer's there. The killer's gone. Not killer. Kidnapper. He's not even a killer. So Kidnapper's gone. Actually, wait a second. No, he is a killer at this point because he backed up into that fucking guy, and he shot the cop. Or should we say maybe a one-time killer? Yes, the cop is not dead. We find that out later on. But she goes to the front, grabs her father's gun that was still left in there, and then she gets out of the car and she sees him, face basically half blown off, and he's smiling, whips out his gun, and he shoots the car like 5 times.
I couldn't tell if he just had like really bad aim or if he did that on purpose, because he just whiffed 5 shots.
See, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking there was going to be some sort of divine intervention deal, like in Pulp Fiction. That's kind of what I was thinking for a second. Like he just started shooting like crazy and all the bullets went around her, and that's not what happened. So what happened, though, was she ended up pulling her gun, said, get in the trunk, and then just left them there with the rattlesnake.
Did you notice they set this up like a Western, too?
Yeah, with the duel at the end. And
the duel, and she had a cowboy hat.
It definitely seemed like, it makes sense because of Texas. That was definitely a duel.
They even had like Western type music playing.
Good. But no fucking tumbleweed.
No tumbleweed.
They fucked up.
This scene is what I was talking about before, though, with the cop when we find out she wasn't dead.
Yeah.
She opens her shirt a little bit and shows her Kevlar vest, and it had the bullet hole in the front.
Yeah.
Dude, she got shot in the back.
Yeah, okay. So like continuity error then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that one was pretty glaring.
Yeah. So she survived. She had the Kevlar vest on. The father was in the back seat. And the daughter goes in. She's like, oh, I left him in the trunk. And they drive off. End scene, fade to black. Movie's over. That in a nutshell. Is definitely an interesting ending for sure.
It was kind of abrupt, but...
Yeah, a little bit. I feel like, it opens up a sequel because he can get out of the trunk at this point.
Right. Oh, is he going to be the one that's... Maybe she's torturing him in the next one.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine?
I'll be there for that.
Yeah. You won't be there for that?
No, I will be.
You will be. All right. And, they'll remake it with William Dafoe. And James McAvoy will be the husband.
Dafoe and McAvoy.
Yep.
Okay.
And we'll get Sydney Sweeney in the trunk, right? The 3 of them. And the father will be... Ooh, who's the father going to be?
Adam Sandler.
Okay. Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler's flying a helicopter.
Fuck yeah. All right. I think we got the cast nailed. I like it, though.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold Schwarzenegger will be the cop.
No, he can be Robert Patrick.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Just like the T-1000.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, the T-1000. Perfect. I like it. All right. With that said, Corey, what do you give The Girl in the Trunk?
You might be surprised that I didn't completely shit on my rating here, but I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it really didn't do it for me. The voice acting was really bad. The CGI, the scorpion and the snake was awful. I am going to give it points, though, for the score was great. Had that really cool retro feel to it.
Yeah.
Reminded me of Mandy.
Yeah, for sure.
And I thought Katharina Sporrer was... What?
Did you look at my notes and see that?
No, I didn't read your notes at all.
Oh, no shit.
That?
I said the same thing. It gave me Mandy vibes.
No, I didn't even scroll down.
Great minds, man. Great minds.
But yeah, no, I didn't read that at all. So I enjoyed that. Katharina Sporrer was awesome, and I really hope she pops up in more films.
Yeah, she was really good.
But yeah, I was bored for a lot of this movie, honestly. I know you feel differently, but it lost me. I was checking the time.
So, yeah, I know. I was having a hard time with the rating last night because I was like going back and forth on what I want to do. I think now that we've had to sit with it a little bit and we've talked about it, I might modify my rating a little bit. So,
okay.
Perfect 5 out of 5. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to go 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5.
Okay, you're dropping it.
Just a little bit, yeah. But I see your viewpoints. I initially had it at 4. I think I was being pretty generous because I thought it was good, not great. Like 4, you're talking about getting close to, fucking really fucking good, right? So I thought it was good, not great. I thought the movie had some really cool elements involving, the camera work, focus on the small space they had to work with, even though the trunk was a little bit oversized. I thought Katharina Sporrer was great. And in this essentially a one-woman show, if you think about it, I had some gripes with the CGI as well and the voice work. This sounds literally verbatim to what you're just saying.
This is why we've been doing this for so long.
Yeah, these are my notes that I'm actually reading out. This is what I said at the end. Corey and I don't review each other's notes, and that's the beauty of 30 Screams or Less. And we try to see if everything fucking lines up. But yeah, so some of the voices didn't match up what you'd think they'd sound like. I thought that was a little odd. I think they could have did a little voice acting to their additional actual performance, because there wasn't a lot of people in this movie. It was 5 people tops that you actually see on screen.
How many people are credited actually?
Not a lot. If you look at the credits at the end, it's 2 people, and then I think later on they finally go through the rest. I think it's only 5, 6 people involved in the actual acting of this.
7 total.
Okay.
And then 3 people, different people, did the voicing.
That makes sense. Yeah. Why? Okay. Yeah. Whatever. Well, why would there be 3 people doing the voicing? Why wouldn't they just have the driver, the main actor, doing the voicing? Is he doing the voicing or is he different?
I have no.
Because I thought I saw that it was a different voice for the main actor.
No. So Adam Kitchen is the voice of John. So the guy that got left because the cake was bad.
Yeah.
Mark Shedler and Malte Scovard were voices, but it doesn't say who they voiced.
Okay.
And looks like everyone else was themselves.
Yeah. All right then. Well, that's good. But I think they could have added a little oomph to their voices to make it a little bit more menacing.
Wait. So Stephen Jennings is the father.
Mm-hmm.
So the on-screen character was played by Christopher de Courcy Ireland, right? No, sorry. The on-screen character was Hawthor Borndorf.
Okay.
And the voice was someone else.
Huh.
This Christopher de Courcy person.
You would think they just have them do both.
So the only 2 people that actually played themselves were the guy who played the kidnapper, Bellerose, and Manda.
Okay. So interesting. I wonder if they only had those actors on set for a certain amount of time and they didn't have money to pay them for the rest, for the voiceover work.
Maybe. I don't know. That's odd.
It is a little odd. I mean, I feel like that's a lot of that now can actually be done at home. If you have the right mic set up, you can do some pretty decent stuff. I like to think we have the right mic set up for that kind of shit. So,
yep.
So, yeah, the voices didn't really match their bodies, which I thought was a little weird. Doesn't make it bad by any means, but I think it could have been improved upon. I don't know if I really felt like there were plot holes, but more things that were kind of hard to understand. So I felt like I was trying to figure out the whole time why the kidnapper did what he did, and it seemed like he just didn't do it for anything. It almost seemed like he just did it because he was bored. He goes on these long drives, and he's like, I had to grab someone.
Yeah, there's really no rhyme or reason as to why he's doing what he's doing. And like you said before, it was never about money. She offered money, and he was like, sure.
Yeah, he's like, okay, yeah. She could have bargained with him, listen, I'll give you a friggin' piece of lint that's in my wedding dress pocket. And you'd be like, oh, cool. All right.
Let me go. Let me go for the lint.
He's like, you got it. No problem. But I think it could have been a revenge thing. But, that's a fucking origin story right there if you think about it. Because he was talking about how his mother, his father, and him were basically destroyed by this bank because his mom got sick. His dad lost his job. The bank took the house. And this is all when he was a little kid. Now, the father owned this bank the whole entire time. He's probably just some sort of head honcho at the bank. Doesn't necessarily mean he owns the bank and he caused this whole thing to happen. He's probably just there, right? He's probably just the president of the bank at this point. Probably could have been president after the whole fucking thing was developed. And then he's like, well, the other guy's gone and dead, so you'll do.
I am the bank. I love that line.
Yeah, I am the bank. Okay. How do I start a bank? I don't know. I don't want to be a bank owner.
No.
Yeah, so that didn't really feel clear to me. But yeah, the score was great. Definitely reminded me of Mandy, like you said, which is Too funny that we both had the same idea. I like that kind of sound anyways, that synthy, almost like late 70s, early 80s sound.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of that style of music already, so yeah, it was great.
Yeah, like The Warriors, that movie, that soundtrack or score, that kind of sound. Love it.
You ever listen to the Chopping Mall score?
No.
You should check that out.
Chopping Mall? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out because if it's anything like that, I'd probably be into it.
You will be. It's very synth.
Very synth.
I have it on vinyl. It's awesome.
Coming from someone that loves, heavy metal, death metal, it's definitely interesting to hear that, like, oh, yeah, I love synth music. It's like,
dude, yeah, I like it all. I'm actually going to try and get the Ratatouille soundtrack on vinyl tomorrow.
Fuck yeah. Fuck. All right, then. It's funny, like, when people say, oh, what kind of music you into? I go, usually metal, hard rock, and then 80s synth pop.
Yeah,
and they're like
it.
What?
Excuse me?
I'm sorry, that it's so left field. But yeah, I love that shit. All right, everyone, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and YouTube. Leave us a 5-star review on all podcast platforms so we can get some more exposure. Of course, tell your friends. Both our intro and outro music are courtesy of Andrew Scott Bell. Be sure to check out Andrew on all major streaming platforms. And if you see Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey on vinyl in the wild, be sure to pick it up. We're also part of the Shining Wizards Network. Be sure to visit shiningwizardsnetwork.com. They're an awesome podcast network ranging from wrestling to heavy metal, horror, all that good stuff. So check that out. Visit 30screamsorless.com for all previous episodes and transcripts to go with those episodes. Also, check out beardoctane.com for their whole line of grooming supplies, and be sure to use the code 30screams10 at checkout for 10% off your order. And if there's anything you want us to review, send an email to 30screamsorless@gmail.com or hit us up on social media. Use hashtag 30screamsorless. And also, we have some awesome merch for sale on our website, so definitely check that out. If you go to our website, at the very top, there's a shop link. Click that link, and you'll see all sorts of shirts, hats, mugs, things like that. If you buy it, it helps going towards our hosting costs. I'm Steve.
I'm Corey.
And thanks for listening to 30 Screams or Less. And don't forget to drink your beans.